In this lecture, we will discuss indoor gardening. The house plants or indoor plants have become a necessity in the homes of the affluent West, but even in some affluent Indian homes. This type of plants are also now finding a prominent place. It is less costlier to decorate the interior of a room with the live plants compared to flowers, which are becoming costlier day by day and besides that are to be replaced frequently. Though the fashion of growing plants became universally popular during the past 3 or 4 decades, definitely it is not a new art. In the recent civilization of Egypt, India, and Rome, it was not unusual to bring pot grown or tub grown plants inside a room for the purpose of decoration. In Europe, particularly in Britain during the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, it was a common practice for well to do people to grow exotic house plants for interior decoration. But it is only in this century and practice of growing plant has spread to millions of homes in Europe and America. The pioneer among the house plant is Aspidistera, which was popular in all walks of life. Selection of house plant. The plant which are generally grown in the house are of two kinds. In the first category are included what we commonly call the flowering plant, such as African violet, azalea, geranium, etc., which are spectacular in appearance by virtue of their colorful flowers. But once the flowering is over, these plants have little use inside a room and hence their usefulness as house plant is only for a limited period. To the other category belongs the plant which provide permanent display with their graceful foliage and sometimes with their architecture or unusual form. For example, bonsai. Some plants are like Monstera deliciosa, Gynura aurantica, etc. A house plant should be compact in growth habit, evergreen in nature, and should stand some amount of shade around its growing environment. In addition, the leaves should be attractive by virtue of their shape or color. Though the emphasis should be on permanency of attraction, handsome flower produced by a house plant should be regarded as a valuable trait. Cultivation of indoor plant. After a house plant is procured, it should be handled with care for the first 1 or 2 weeks. When a plant is brought indoor directly from the favorable condition of a greenhouse, it shows sign of yellowing of leaves or even defoliation as a result of reduced light, less humidity, and unfavorable temperature condition. The plant passes through a period of readjustment after which it gets acclimatized in the new home. A useful hint in house home culture is that whenever possible they should be taken outdoor once in a while during favorable weather condition. This will vigor the plant growth, but this should not be practiced too frequently also as again the problem of readjustment will arise. After each such treatment, the plant should be first hardened off before introducing again indoor. The hardening may be done by exposing the plant to the indoor condition gradually, alternatively with the favorable condition of the greenhouse. Initially, the plant may be introduced indoor only for a couple of hours, gradually increasing the time. The plants may finally be shifted to indoor in about a fortnight or after a month, even after the period where there may be setback initially, which most plants will withstand after the readjustment period is over. The key to success in growing house plant depends upon various factors which are discussed below. First, light. Light is an important factor in the cultivation of house plant. The demand for light, however, varies from plant to plant. There is a general rule no house plant should be exposed to direct sunlight. There are few exceptions such as Sansevieria. Most of the cacti and fruit trees grown as house plant such as Grevillea which do not mind exposure to direct sunlight provided it not very scorching. The best artificial source is fluorescent light. A general recommendation is that 15 to 20 watts of fluorescent light is needed for each 30 square centimeter of plant area. A 60 centimeter long tube produces 20 watt of light while a 120 centimeter emits 40 watt of light. Next factor is temperature. The temperature requirement of houseplant is much more variable than that of light because of the diverse climatic condition of origin of the different houseplants. Some plants belong to the tropics while other hails from subtropic and few from temperate zone. The most important point about temperature is that houseplant, whether from the tropic or from the temperate zone, do not like any great fluctuation in the course of a day. The ideal range of temperature should be around 15 to 21 degrees Celsius during day and the night temperature never falling below 20 degrees Celsius. But most of the hardy houseplant can withstand much higher temperature than this provided the humidity is good. Next factor is humidity. Many of the house plants, with few exceptions such as Sansevieria, Aspidistera, desert cacti, and few other succulent in their natural habitat receive high amount of humidity. In a house, it is not possible to maintain high humid condition because that will rather uncomfortable for the inmates. As a result, plant require high humid condition cannot be grown properly indoor, but it is possible to improvise the method by which humidity can be increased to some extent in the vicinity of the plant. One such method is to put the potted plant in other empty pot one size larger than itself and to pack the surrounding empty space with a peat or sphagnum moss which is kept moist by constant watering. The other method is to stand the pot in a shallow waterproof metal tray containing small sized gravels or pebbles. Water is then poured until it is just short of the top of the pebbles, at which level this should be maintained constantly. Next factor is watering. The water requirement of houseplant varies from one kind to another. An alocasia needs more water than a cacti or some succulent. Plant kept in a comparatively cooler atmosphere need less water than when kept in a warmer house. A plant growing in a porous clay pot will need more water compared to the one growing in the plastic or a glazed container. Similarly, smaller pot, will need more watering frequently. Whether or not a pot needs water will be indicated by the dry surface of the compost. Other method is to strike the pot with a wooden hammer gently, and if the resulting sound is of a ringing tone, the plant needs watering, while a dull sound indicates that the compost is moist. A plant needs more water during its growth period and the amount is reduced appreciably during the winter, which is a resting period for most of the plant. Next factor is fresh air. The air in the room may become polluted due to fumes, high concentration of carbon dioxide, etc., which is detrimental for most of the house plant. The windows can be opened occasionally to let in fresh air or the plant can be put outdoor in a mild days. Other cultural practices like repotting, cleaning of leaf, plant surface, manuring and fertilization leads to a good indoor gardening. In this, we will discuss some of the disease of indoor plants and the problem and remedies for them. First one is a stunted growth. Inadequate feeding or excessive watering, but in the winter it may be due to the resting period of the plant. Probable math remedies for the first cause is to feed with a liquid manure and to stop watering for a few days or a repotting may have to be done. But in winter, this symptom may not be unusual if that be in resting period of the plant. Second is wilting. Wilting is because of lack of moisture in the compost or overwatering or bad drainage. Shade-loving plants kept in too sunny position, rotting of roots. Remedial measures are to regulate watering, check drainage, and ensure correct light exposure. Third is dropping of flower, buds, and leaf or yellowing. Because of bird formation take place in good light, and if the plant is not receiving good light, birds will fall. Flower buds and foliage may also drop as a result of fluctuation in light and temperature, lack of humidity, excess of or underwatering, gas fumes, and drought. Red spider mites may also cause these symptoms. Next is leaves turning yellow but not dropping. Plant preferring acid soil may show such symptoms if there is excess of lime. Fifth one is leaves dropping. If the soil is too wet at the time, this must be due to rotting of roots as a result of excessive watering. The affected plant should be removed to a warm place immediately and watering should be stopped for a couple of days and resumed thereafter only moderately.